Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we are going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Origins Diabolical Snake Invasion. This is an action figure 4-pack, and I am pretty blown away by the packaging here. I wasn't expecting such a large box for these to come inside of. I mean, if I take the tape measure here, you can see that this box measures 21.5 inches in length. It is impressive. And speaking of impressive, absolutely covered in some gorgeous artwork. Of course, just like we've come to expect from this line, but I love seeing Snake Armor HeMan doing battle with all of the Snake Men minions here. You can see Serpent Tower from Eternia in the background. Really incredible stuff. If we rotate this around to the backside, once again, we've got some more beautiful artwork here of the Snake Men charging in at HeMan. You can see Fangor in the background there. Also, you can see Snake Mountain in its early form, and when it was the fortress of the Snake Men. This is really cool because if you've been a fan since the 2003 era, this is something we saw in the animated series. So this is certainly an homage to that, though it does look a little bit different. You can see that snake face on the front. Really cool stuff. I love to see that. Now, one neat thing about this box is this is actually a window box. We've got this flap on the front that you can fold open to show you the 4 included action figures, which of course gives us a repaint of Snake Armor HeMan. We did have him on a standard blister card already. But then we've got these 3 Snake Men warriors. Now, to me, this was like an army builder pack. So I was kind of surprised that we got names given to these sort of minions of the Snake Men. This blue one here is named Rattle Hood. He is the Snake Men's squad leader. And then over here, we've got Gorgon, the loyal spy for King Hiss, and Naga, the evil poison master. Incredible. I love that. Very excited to open these guys up and check them out. Also worth noting, that same beautiful artwork from the front can be seen on the inside of the flap without the logo and everything on it. So really impressive packaging all the way around. But let's go ahead and open this up and we'll get a closer look at the figures. All right, so why don't we go ahead and start with our Snake Armor HeMan, since he's kind of the most basic repaint in this particular set here. Of course, if you are unfamiliar with this look for HeMan, this is inspired by armor that he wore in the 2003 animated series during the Rise of the Snake Men storyline that they did. So this has basis in animation. Of course, he had a figure in the 2000X era and the Classics era, so we've got him here again in Origins. And this is the same figure as the regular single carded retail release that we already got, with the only difference being the paint deco. So I wanted to bring both of these in here to stand them side by side so you can see that the big differences really lie in the black that they added to the armor there on the shoulder pauldron, the part where the big claw thing comes out, the wrist bracer on the belt, and on the tops of the boot armor there. It actually looks really nice. They also highlighted the H logo there with like a neon green, which has a little bit of a metallic sheen to it, which is pretty cool. But the other big difference that I noticed is in HeMan's hair, as it's a much more clean, bright yellow on this new one compared to sort of like the dirty blonde look on that retail release. So, just out of curiosity, we can swap those too. I don't know if I assume you guys might want to know what these look like in case you want to do any head swapping there. You want more like yellow hair on that standard retail release. That actually looks pretty good there. And it's funny because I didn't realize how un-yellow the single carded figure's hair was until I saw this new one and stood them side by side. So otherwise, you're getting exactly the same figure here. So for accessories, he also comes with that 2000X or 2003 era inspired power sword, the electronic power sword. I already talked about this in detail in my review of this guy. I do feel it's a little small in comparison to what the sword looked like in that era, but it is still cool to see that sword in this particular lineup. And of course, we've got the little claw attachment just like before. However, it is now that same kind of neon green that you see on this new armor here, and that can just plug right there into that little wrist armor that he's wearing, so that he's got this extra bit of protection against the snake men. So pretty cool figure. It's like I said, we already knew about this one. If you've already got the single carded release, really no surprises here. It's just a completely different paint deco this time around. So let's jump to Gorgon and Naga here. These kind of look like your generic snake men grunts, but cool that they gave them names. So we did get names for these characters. But these guys are completely repaints as well, with some mishmash parts. And honestly, it's very cleverly done because it really does make these guys stand out as their own characters. So if you couldn't already tell, the heads come from Rattler, and the bodies come from Cobra Khan. So just a reuse of the Cobra Khan and Rattler parts, but mashed together and then given completely different paint decos, really does make these guys look like unique characters. I think it actually looks pretty good. In fact, I really like the red, maroon, pink colors over here. I think that actually looks really, really cool. Articulation on these guys, by the way, exactly what you would expect. They feel really good. They still retain all of the swappable parts, which is great, especially for these Snake Warriors, because there could be some customization options here so that you could create whatever type of Snake Men you want for your Snake Men army. I will say the only thing that I'm definitely going to nitpick here is the fact that there are no weapons for these guys at all. Now, maybe we can make the argument that these are like low-level grunts of sorts of the Snake Men army. They've got to just go in there and fight with their own feral instincts. But it'd have been nice if we got some kind of weapons with these guys, but nothing was packed in to use with them. But that brings me to Rattle Hood, which is my personal favorite figure in this set. The colors on this guy are amazing. I mean, he totally pops. And just like with Naga and Gorgon there, it's just a reuse of parts, like a simple reuse of Rattler's body and Cobra Khan's hooded head makes a completely different looking Snake Man. Very interesting concept here. I love the name Rattle Hood, by the way, but it's interesting because he's like a mix between a rattlesnake and a cobra, a king cobra. But whatever, it's Masters of the Universe. Anything goes in this world, right? So because he reuses Rattler's body, he actually does retain the rattling feature. So you can hear the little beads or whatever it is rattling around on the inside, which is a really nice touch. He also has that tail. This is modeled just like the vintage one there. So it's like this flat, very pliable plastic. It will get in the way of standing sometimes, especially because he's got those tiny little stubby Rattler legs and the bigger torso. And I find that this larger head does cause a little bit of extra top heaviness to the figure, so the balance is a little off, especially when we add the attachment, because yes, he actually does still come with Rattler's neck attachment. This time it's done in this purple or this almost purpley blue color, but it works the same way. You can just pop off the head, you can attach it at the base of the neck, then you can attach Rattle Hood's head to the top there, and now we've got a rattlesnake with an extending cobra hooded head. That is pretty amazing. Seriously, what a cool looking character. And like I said, I love the colors on there. I think the blue and the purple look so good with the green highlights of the Snake Men logos. He might honestly be my favorite Snake Man so far. I really love those colors. So in addition, he does also come with the spitting effect that came with the other versions of Cobra Khan that we got. But this time it's done in a bright pink, which is pretty neat. Definitely goes with the bright colors of the figure. So that can plug into the little hole in his mouth there, just like this. So now we've got his neck extended and the pink spit coming out of his mouth, which is amazing. In case you don't remember, the regular version of Cobra Khan came with green, and then we also had the blue. Well, one was Cobra Khan, one was Camo Khan. We had the blue and the green, and now we've got the pink. So it's the same blast effect, just in those three colors. And to top this all off, we do have a purple version of the Snake Man staff, since he's sort of like a battalion leader of sorts of these, the smaller portion of the Snake Army. Pretty cool stuff. I really like Rattle Hood. I think he is a very cool creation. Brand new Snake Men to the lot, but I love him. I think he's awesome. So there you go, my friends. There's a look at this brand new Snake Men 4-pack from the Masters of the Universe Origins line. To be perfectly honest, it is a pack of repaints. Everything in here is stuff that we've gotten before. There's nothing new going on here, but the repaints are cleverly done, I think. I mean, the mishmash of parts with the snakes alone really does sort of bulk out your Snake Men army. Gives you some new, it could be just grunts or unnamed Snake Men if you want to in your collection. It does definitely encourage like mixing and matching of parts too, right? So that you can create your own Snake Men. So even though they gave all these guys names, I definitely think this could still technically be an army building pack. I almost wish that we got just a 4th snake instead of this HeMan. I mean, the HeMan repaint is nice, but he was already released in the single carded line. We already have that version of HeMan. 4 snakes would have been so much cooler because then it would have really felt like an army building set, and I think there would have been a lot more potential for people buying them to mix and match the parts to create all kinds of different Snake Men. As it is, you're going to end up with a bunch of extra HeMan figures, but I do still really like these. I think these guys look great. I especially love Rattle Hood. Man, those colors, dude, that's like, look at that. He's like Pixel Dan blue. This is my Snake Man. I love him. I think he's fantastic. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, I ordered mine through BigBadToyStore.com. It just recently came in stock, so head on over there. I don't know for sure if this one will be hitting retail stores. It's such a big box. Feels like an online exclusive, but I could be wrong about that. But I'll definitely make sure I link over to Big Bad Toy Store so you can check it out for yourself. Thank you guys so very much for watching today's video, and until next time.